Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new chapter of One Piece, which is on chapter 915. This chapter right here was actually pretty cool. I was pretty shocked to see what happened, especially that ending right there. That samurai woman, oh man, she's so attracting, dude. In terms of fighting skill and everything that she just did towards the end of the chapter. So if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that this big sumo guy who is apparently in love with O-Kiku, if that's her name, if I remember correctly, wants to take her as a bride. But apparently he left one time because he sensed a strange aura that Zoro had, which he calls him a Ronin. And we have to it that some guy was actually talking to him apparently, and gives him some advice like you should take her by force and burn her house down. Kill her entire family so you can ensure that she can't survive without you. You have samurai blood in your veins. This country has a clear social hierarchy. But the guy also tells him that a national superstar athlete such as yourself doesn't need to show restraint in dealing with the lower class. You just set a bad example for others. And we have to it that he goes like, yeah, I guess you're right. And we have to it that he could do whatever he wants to O-Kiku, but that's not the case. We have to it that he ends up wasting food that was right there. Of course, the guy who was talking to that big sumo guy who's in love with O-Kiku is called a Mouseman, one of the gifters. And we see to it that he wants to eat that dog raccoon as he is more interested in it, etc. And we see to it that Tama is brought to to some vicious amount of whatsoever. And we see to it that that the Gazelle Man actually managed to bring her here, to Tama. And the person that she's brought to is known to be Hold'em, which is known to be a lion smile user. And apparently we have to it that this lion is part of this guy's body and he's actually alive. The lion ends up actually attacking him right in the bullseye, right in the balls apparently. And we see to it that the lion ends up screaming in agony too because he's part of him, etc. And we have to it that Hold'em for asked the little girl, answer this child, how did someone like you manage to tame that baboon on your own? My subordinates told me that they saw you do it and you must have had the power of an actual devil fruit. Tama does not tell the truth and she just says, I'm just really good with animals. And he goes like, they definitely said that you pulled something off your cheek, so why don't we test it, etc. And we have to that Tama is really in trouble right now. And we have to that Zoro, Luffy, and O-Kiku managed to enter the town. And we have to it that Luffy tries to scream out, where's Otama? But we have to it that O-Kiku covers his mouth and says, dude, shut up. You're trying to make a scene right now? And we have to it that these guys were actually suspicious about Luffy and the others, but thanks to Luffy's Haoshoku no Haki, he managed to knock them all out, which is pretty cool. And we see to it that that everyone here doesn't look like fighters apparently when Zoro or Luffy looks at it. And O-Kiku explains that the people living here have been living here their entire lives until 20 years ago. There was an energetic town that stood at the base of the castle, but then Orochi's subordinates began to take whatever houses they liked for themselves. Everything's just turned to little ugly right now. Here's what happens here. Only essential merchants and tradesmen were allowed to remain. The rest were forced out of town. This is what Bakura Town has become. Merchants here, other people, they're all just cast out. And we see to it that Luffy captures a guy who apparently got defeated in a sumo match, apparently. And we see to it that it was the sumo wrestler Urashima whatsoever. Apparently he is the #1 champion sumo guy, and he's very freaking big and tall right now, dude. He's knocking everyone out right now, and we see to it that that whoever beats Urashima whatsoever, which the guy who's in love with O-Kiku, it could earn a hefty 500 gold, but anyone who's confident can do it. And we see to it that a lot of people were trying to take him on, but they all got defeated apparently. One has 10 arms, 15 legs, 52 wrists, 4 skulls, and 7 spines apparently. They're all broken down, 88 bones total whatsoever. And we see to it that freaking Urashima's is undefeated pretty much. No one can really beat him. But apparently after Urashima knocks out some other folks out of the way, he ends up actually looking at O-Kiku and goes like, "Hey, how you doing? You know, did you decide to become my bride?" And they go like, "Wait a minute, that's the person that Urashima's gonna marry?" Everyone was actually insulting her, etc. You know, going like, "What the hell are you doing here? Get out of here!" You know. And we have to, of course, like O-Kiku says, like, you know, this guy decides everything on his own. I don't even know what the heck he's trying to do right here and there, you know. And we have to it that he asked his subordinates or his freaking like friends to actually go get O-Kiku. But Luffy asked him a question. Do you know a kid named Tama? We're looking for her, you know, etc. Etc. And we see to it that that one guy ends up kidnapping O-Kiku, and Luffy gets angry at Zoro, goes like, "Zoro, why'd you let him take her?" And Zoro's like, cutting down naked man is a bit too much, you know? And we see to it that these people were actually insulting O-Kiku, that she's a lower class, she's vulgar and inferior, and Urashima on the other hand says like, "Oh, how about you all shut up? You're all lower class. Your lives are insignificant. It is I who decides whether you live or not, okay? So, O-Kiku, please become my wife." But O-Kiku goes like, "I do not know of anyone whom you refer to as lower class." And she actually cut off his top notch, apparently, and she ends up saying, "Surely you jest. The only vulgar thing here is your heart." And everyone gets into shock and realizing what she's done and goes like, "That's Yokozuna's top knot." And Luffy's like, "So awesome. Kiku is so cool." Even Zoro's like, "It's getting interesting now. It's too early to be calling the boss out." And even Zoro is actually like fascinated by Okiku's swordsmanship. So now, I think if I remember correctly, that cutting off the top knot of anyone, especially in the Japanese culture, apparently, if I remember correctly, cutting that top knot off is utter humiliation or just total dishonor or something, especially from someone else. Like, I remember I saw it in an entertainment movie before, and maybe somewhere else, and I heard about it, but I wasn't so sure. But aside from that, all I can really say is like what happened in this chapter is just like Otama is taken to that freaking Hold'em guy, which has a lion fruit inside him, and then Urashima being that champion sumo guy, and he ends up trying to take O-Kiku for himself, but it doesn't work out, and O-Kiku cut off his top knot or something. And I'm like, damn, this woman's like slick. So yeah, like I said, simple summary. Like Luffy, Zoro, and O-Kiku enters the town. They get interrupted of the search by freaking like Urashima, which he is known to be the freaking champion sumo wrestler. And yeah, everything else, who knows? Don't know what's really about to happen next. But after seeing what O-Kiku did and Urashima being shocked about seeing his top not being cut, especially everyone staring, it's gonna be one hell of a chaos fight, that's for sure. I mean, O-Kiku, she is one hell of a woman, dude. Even Zoro just praised her swordsmanship by saying, "No, this is getting interesting," you know? I'm like, damn, girl, you slick. So until then, I will see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alpha Zoro, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!